welcome back to Thorn, the first night. Before I introduce our next reader, it's still a mite loud in here.
Hey, shut up! Shut up! I want to hear fucking
Yes. Tomorrow night.
Hey, shut the fuck up!
Thank you, Robert and Michael.
Gary,
Thanks, tough guy.
Tomorrow night, Valerie Merrick, Terry Durst, Kristen Bontemper, and Luigi Bob Drake. Our next reader, in her first American appearance since her sold-out European tour, Amy Sparks.
I am waiting for the world to catch up to me, my body doing the graveyard shift, and I know it's true. You cannot store sleep to be doled out in the future. Nights drop like breadcrumbs back to you. First night of sheet twist and factory hum, our lungs shy in air laced with fine mist of brick dust and mica chips like floating stars. It's beautiful. Hell, you said, about the dawn spilling its blood into the valley. You didn't mind getting up to see the mills redden and go brown, and I don't have to tell you. There is a thing called industry. At midnight, it feels like church. It moves like the rock and roll West Side girls who snake before the band, needing more bass in their veins. At the risk of being disfiguringly sentimental, I want to make you a suit of rust, parade you around the glass factory, the night watchman watching his edges, incredulous. There is whiskey between us and slag to be poured off, and I'm talking about the color of steel just after it's pressed, and how it's not really a color, but heat that moves on rails back and forth over the dark river. Here, hold out your hands. Every Sunday, the lolly, the trolley, drives down my street for no apparent reason. And this poem is about that. It's called Instructions for Sunday Visitors. Impeccable tourists, please unfold your maps. It's charity day in my country, and the lake is hungry. See the blue priests peddle their benevolent smiles. See the streets crack and waver on their drunken slide north. Here, desire is a meat factory spewing its barbecue over the clutched roofs. Please turn to the right. Do not get on the highway. Do not crash these red lights. Suburban marauders, what do you take home gripped in your teeth? This city is my body, crooked, pocked, dripping inappropriately. Touch me here, but not there, and don't forget only my love can bite me on the lip. Please bring blankets, truffles, small firearms. We'll dine on coffee, cordials over tin can flames. We'll give you sheafs of stories and possible disease. At night, after you cross into lawn country, my swing bridges sing over the river. East 39th whispers in Slovenian, St. Theodosius glitters and moans as a howl rings down the rounded bricks of my alley, gathering speed. It splinters the air the way the trains on Whiskey Island crash past with the promise of grit. And Chicago, I dare you to stand between them. Kiss your heart goodbye. Leave us your money, and leave us our swirl of gulls, mysterious fish, gravel piles that can crush a man, and the contracted tide of Erie which spits up no secrets for you, my dears. This poem's called Swimming in Retrograde. I wrote it last summer after swimming in Lake Erie. The moon, you claim, moves in retrograde motion. You say this as we spin thigh on thigh, the lake an oily cloak, enormous and slipping off our shoulders. Together we know the ascent to shore is studded with rocks. Easier to swim there. Drag our evolutionary bellies onto the sand, our chins weed-bearded, our toes grown together. Look up to see the moon recede into the glossy shell of the sky as if we too could retract. Fold flesh back and back through silt, back through time, through impossible love and the spill of a billion eggs. We watch the lake close over, a magician's cloth covering the disappeared, water rushing in to fill the void our bodies once were.
All right.
This is a companion poem about swimming in the ocean. Like cavefish long from light, we glide to each other unarmed, dragging our prehensile toes. The sun is a gift no one remembers. We recollect colors, the blackbird's stained wing, the hot coal's indignation. We lack bright, crave yellow. It's embarrassing, the seaweed bleeding all over the beach, olive green globes, brown tubes, shirt and clumped seeds coughed up at our feet, ribbons on which are recorded all the dreams of fish. Don't you know blue is what I don't want? Blanched, water-bound lily I comb low tide for instructions. You have already taught me water, but forgot to show me how to ignite. This is a new one called Metal.
Just something happy.
Oh, Robert!
Come on, man.
I don't have anything happy.
Please, Sammy.
This is pretty close to happy.
Okay.
Okay?
I'll shut up.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay.
That would be a good thing.
That would... And there will also be no fighting after the reading. This is called Metal. After kissing him, her mouth tasted like metal. She all of a sudden wanted to tell him her Joan of Arc fantasies. How her bones would sound like flint strikes inside a cave when she wore her armor. How she would lead her whole 6th grade class down to the sea to save Mrs. Metzger from being pregnant. How she would not break into a sweat or have to wear an undershirt over her bra to hide her breasts. She wouldn't have breasts at all. Just God working through her rib cage like a snake, whispering bells, bells in her ear. She would be excused from gym class. She licked her lips and kissed again. He tasted like a pipe. She would have short, straight hair and blue eyes and speak French to God and her soldiers. There would be banners and blue skies, and her parents would stand on the sidelines proud. There would be wounds, of course, battle scars, cries of agony, but she was sure there would be nothing between her legs. God gave her the armor because he had different plans for her, a boy's body inside a girl. Arrested development, they would call it now.
That's sad.
She wanted her development arrested. She wanted the taste of metal in her mouth, bits of it she could dig out later with her tongue. She wanted no blood, no wound that would follow the moon's tides. She wanted everything hard and flat and smooth, with good and evil clearly wearing their uniforms. She wanted this man to smother her with metal and for the bells to never stop ringing.
That's sad.
I wrote that today.
You got something done today.
I got something done today. This is called Thinking of You in Spain. They are burning the olive trees, the branches, Mercury arms on fire above the gorge's bleeding hibiscus. A goat herd plods by, witnessing. There is a row and another, then you, standing at the end of each one, hands huge and dangling, but not necessarily guilty. The fields rise before you, brides in a line cradling lemons and moss. They have bloodied heads, no faces, red taffeta veiling down their backs. Smoke seeps beneath their gowns. I am spiked on a trunk, my silver hair flicking in the wind, my arms studded with olives. The heat advances. One by one, the goats step off into air that will not hold them, fall past flowers, make pink explosions of their own. They make no cry as I wait for you, row after row, olive tree bridegroom, spitting sun, calmly whittling the earth into a harsher curve. Robert, was that happy?
No, it wasn't. It's morose, dear.
All right, we'll try another one. Brownsville, Texas.
Somebody's really sick of knowing me. Happy, dear. Brownsville, Texas.
Shut up.
Sorry. My mouth is shut.
A woman wakes before dawn, hearing a coarse wind blow through her womb. The sun stuns the pavement. The river takes its trash, tail between legs, to the sea. Question: what desert is this? In Brownsville, Texas, babies are being born without brains. Say this 3 times fast, and the Rio Grande may sludge to a stop. It's an outbreak. Chemicals, industry, statistics, they say. Mexico, mothers alarmed. They withhold such information as size, report, cruel cargo on board. Big as a small woman's fist, open as a full-blown rose, withered gardenias touched by unseen hands, half-eaten salad for the beetles. The sonograms show a single black hole anchored in a wet universe. There are no tides. The singularity at the center evaporates in the X-ray's eye. Nucleus, nucleus. It is a shell game. Question: what God do they serve? Irradiated, blessed, coerced, convinced, passed over, pressed, stitched, sliced, risen, picked clean, plucked. Small gray bowls overturned on the rocks. Report: someone wrapped razor wire around these vacant spots. Prediction: soon the rains will come and the bleaching begin.
Hey.
Okay, I have one more called Histories. It's a group of little chunks. First one's called Prague.
Read something nice about men.
Oh,
Say something nice about men.
Robert.
Possibly say nice about men.
Robert.
Wake up, man.
Now, come on, Amy.
Robert.
Say something nice about
Robert,
men.
5 minutes, okay? Give me 5 minutes.
I'm sorry, Dad.
Prague. In a small, rounded town, bruised by time, the darkling spots emerge at sunset. You stand, shoulders slumped, thinking of a woman with points on her lips. History is a permanent coating on the tongue. Our fingernails scratch small white moons into the statues on the bridge where a king once threw a priest over the side. A cross with 5 gold stars marks it. We smother it with our hands, legend says, for wishing. Be done with the stones, the cobbled streets, the rain, sleep. The castle is lit until midnight, the swans until they die. They are placed in the water for distraction, so that you will not notice how the city lifts and shifts by certain degrees toward the sun. Their arched necks are snakes, are the curve of your woman's breasts. They dot the river, their oily wings reflecting the stray human hopes from the bridge. Bring on the mist. Someone order the fog. There is at least a year until morning. Madrid. The woman in gray swabs down the altar in a church in a country that is south and lemons, north and olives. This is more interesting than Mass and smells better. She pays no attention to the barbarous arms and thorns that hang in the air like coat racks, waiting for the tiny coats to hang before God. The slate, you said, has to be cleaned. But what if we broke it instead, leaving all the leavings on it, musty breathings, little mouths that croak echoes of former desires? It is good to leave the traces, the picked-through messes, the unordered archaeology of joining, rejoining, eating, drinking on different altars. History is not flat. It clots and dries and cannot be wiped clean. Tarragona. The whole time I am with you, a beetle waits for me in the sink in America. He has slipped through a crack to where the walls are white and steep. Like the bleached amphitheater here, there are no leavings descending from the sky. We all come from a Roman hole we can't return to. Feed us the tender lettuces browned at the edges like touched gardenias. We want only things that have been handled by someone else, such as history. Cleveland. I wake to faces staring from the walls, a vast space with opaque windows. What city, country, day is here? Who inhabits the air? Disco thumps down the street, dogs and balloons and people who sleep with their own kind, coupling as if in a mirror. We chase the sun for a whole day and suffer for it. It cannot bear too many eyes moving west across a planet until west becomes east. We are not the British Empire. The bricks on my street are too new to speak. They have edges, live in America, are not yet fully soaked with blood, Arab sweat, West Virginia tears. The music moves my windows slightly. The normally drab rug is drenched in color. The books tilt. The walls are high enough for church. The instruments are carefully covered in cloth, waiting. Vow over the Atlantic. I will get a dog, a cat, a bird, contact lenses, a haircut, dental floss. I will get healed before I leave again. My hands are clean, but in the dark, they tell stories. Paris. Sleep in the grass before important monuments. Malaga. We are south of where we want to be because you crave the sea and fruits that when split spill the sun. The chatter rises from the alley at dawn, after siesta, during the promenade. The sound fills the air in increments, moving outward, hits the wall, shoots through the window, presses into the skin of your cheek. Lie and listen to a language you cannot speak. The stories are intricate and loud. They mean nothing. Your tongue is unmoved, but your ears are wound tight as metal coils. Berlin. Berlin is for remembering. The most important aspect about the Eiffel Tower is that there is nowhere to pee nearby. Notre Dame is closed at night when it would be most beneficial to slip inside. Stand to drink your coffee and think of the dead. All the dogs in France are named Napoleon and all the cats Oscar. Or is it the other way around? Churches, you said, are crime centers and should be avoided. They sell chunks of history here, stones that when soaked in water blossom into blue soldiers with rifles. Soak them in blood and they remain stones. The wall is now circled in razor wire next to a bungee jump crane. Dogs roam the gypsy camp above where Adolf and Eva made their pact against the sun. The whores in Amsterdam give off no light. The whores in Paris have hoisted breasts. The whores in Berlin were somewhere else, from where the most beautiful men are born. Question on the way from Prague. How many thieves were on the midnight train, and do they think crucifixion? Back home. You have your fingers and the metal strings you pluck. I have words and an etching of a man who has no hands. I dream of men with hands, but will not admit to just dreaming of men. You have nothing because you keep starting over, but little things attach themselves to you, little mollusks, each with fleshy centers, having absorbed what you say, what you heard, what your hands did when you weren't looking. Little histories and little shells, and you are covered with them. They break apart in the night. The cats watch from the outer dark. Barcelona. The brides in Barcelona have no faces, only exploded heads of bright red taffeta. The cathedral opposite absorbs all light. Our feet stink. The tiles are clean. 2 blocks away, Germans watch a transvestite dressed like Popeye sing The Yellow Submarine in Spanish. The police patrol, bathed in important blue. History drags behind us like a rivery veil. My name is, I'm telling a story. Thank you.
This God.